Oh, the faux outrage over this. Seriously, honestly, a loaded studio audience horrified at the prospect that an asylum seeker from the Democratic Republic of Congo, the DRC, flees the safety of France on a dinghy, only to find that he could be sent to Rwanda, who are apparently in conflict with his country. Well, stay in the safety of France then, instead of taking a perilous crossing which you've needlessly risked your life to take, and only now, when you learn you could be sent to Rwanda, are you worried about losing it. So you're not bothered about the dinghy capsizing in the Channel, where you could die, the fate of 5 migrants this week, one a 7-year-old girl. You're worried about harm in Rwanda because you know that you could end up there if you cross illegally via a small boat under this new legislation from the safety of France. Stay in France then. It's a no-brainer. Why would you risk your life on an unnecessary, dangerous journey where you could die if you are genuinely looking for safety? You're already safe in France. I'm sorry, but I'm not buying any of this. I suspect the real reason is this.
The only for me to claim asylum was crossing the Channel.
You did have other options.
No.
You had asylum in Greece.
I had asylum in Greece, but as I mentioned, nobody wants to live in a tent.
Sure.
Exactly. He doesn't want to stay in a tent, so he's leaving Greece. The truth is most cross via dinghy. Most of them are economic migrants. That's what I suspect. After all, they've paid over the odds to get here. Frankly, they don't want to live in tents that, get this, are provided by other European countries. Who can blame them? Hotel in the UK or tent in Greece? Let me see. Whilst Chris Philips did not handle that exchange well, he's right when he said Rwanda is a different country, and I think he was confused as to why he'd received such a harsh response and started to question his own answer. Yes, he should be aware, and he should have been aware of any conflict in neighbouring countries if he wasn't, but as Chris Philips said, there is provision for that. Exactly. Question answered. Nobody's mentioning that bit, though. Honestly, you can't please all the people all of the time. This only proves one thing, that the Rwanda deterrent would deter people from the DRC paying people traffickers to come to the UK from the safety of France via dangerous dinghies. And in fact, I think, judging by the overall response to shut this down, Rwanda may well have the all-round desired effect of making people think twice before they risk their lives to cross the Channel from an already safe country, France. Surely nobody wants people to carry on taking this deadly route, which has proven most are economic migrants, and that it's an industry which is packed with dodgy lawyers, people traffickers and questionable charities. Andrew Mitchell, the Deputy Foreign Secretary, criticised the Lords for their objections to the Rwanda bill this week. He said some of the discussions that have gone on in the Lords about the traditional arrangements to legal arrangements with Rwanda have been patronising and, in my view, border on racism. He called the people smugglers the modern-day equivalent of slave traders. But where is the outrage from the BBC audience about the people traffickers who are pocketing billions and risking lives? As far as I could see, nobody batted an eyelid at the prospect of somebody risking their life after paying a trafficker who couldn't care whether they lived or died to come to this country. They were more bothered about whether Chris Philips knows where the Congo is. Where is the outrage for the people in this country waiting months, even years, to get treatment because our services are so overstretched? People dying as a result. What about those deaths? Many on NHS waiting lists have been on or are taxpayers who have contributed to the welfare system of this country for decades, so it will be available to them in their hour of need. Where is the outrage for the millions that we're spending to foot the bill to house Channel migrants, which is eating into the foreign aid budget meant to assist poorer nations, but instead housing people, many of whom shouldn't be here at all and are economic migrants? Where indeed? Next, there'll be a wave of migrants claiming that they've come from the DRC to avoid being sent to Rwanda. Sounds to me like a lot of people are worried about Rwanda. It seems there are people in this country hell-bent on finding any way to stop the Rwanda scheme from working with no valid alternative. We cannot carry on like this. It is completely unsustainable. Unless you have a better idea, I suggest you step back and give Rwanda a chance.